All right, well, the market's opening, and I don't know if anybody's out there. Just doesn't look like things are going well for me over here today. Um, well, the market's open and it popped up 8 points, and the composite's off by 4. Russell's up, Dow's up. So it doesn't look like there's any consistency here, which would indicate to me that we're going to just be in a consolidating kind of pattern. So if you're back with me, just if you had any questions, hey, Miss Kerry. Yeah, I got you now. Yeah, I see. I saw there were people online with me, but I wasn't getting any good mornings, and I know you always wish me a good morning. And Tom Williams never, goes without wishing me a good morning either. So I know, I figured there was something wrong. So, yep, I appreciate you hopping back on with me. Somebody actually emailed me the list of chat, and there was a gentleman by the name of Ben Dover who, Ben Dover, he's got to be messing with me. So I see, yeah, there's a couple of people. Oh yeah, Tommy was with us too this morning. Yeah, see, yeah, I definitely had a problem. Oh, hey, producer, you're back. What's up? Um, yeah, I could see it now. Yeah, I mean, it looks like my stream keeps going in and out. And actually, I was using my phone to check the email to see who it is, and I think that might interfere a little bit with my stream. Um, so looks like it might be a rough day. I don't know. We had a pretty good experience yesterday, so I guess we can't look a gift horse in the mouth. But hey, we'll just keep slaving at it, seeing what we can make out of it. Bend over. Hey, I hope he comes back on, man. I would love to know if that's actually his real name. You know, there's got to be somebody out there carrying the name of Ben Dover. And boy, he's got to be quick with his hands, I'll bet. I'm sure that guy had some scraps when he was in high school. So, yeah, the market shot up 8 points. And look at that, just sitting still. And Ben Dover wanted to talk about AMC and momentum. But yeah, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on. Yo, oh, 500 tick. That's why that baby looks funny. There you go. Makes a little double top, pulling back. Today's low is the open. And we got 10 points in it. Anybody else out there with some questions? Want to chit chat about something? Oh, gotta roll some charts around. So what are we thinking about the daily? Just a long-term look on the market. I mean, who knows what that bar is going to turn into? But again, another jump up, man. It could be a shooting star. You never know until the end of the day. But this market is just resilient, just crazy resilient. Just all about the bull. Hey, good morning, John M. How you doing? Got some questions, some content for me? So I'm just looking at the daily chart, trying to figure, where we're heading. I mean, we still have that divergence, and it doesn't matter until it breaks the previous day's low. I don't think today's the day unless something falls apart. We don't get 20-point moves. It just looks like we're waiting on the non-farm payroll. It appears that the inflation fears are out of the market. But, we'll see again. Hopefully there's some volatility in the market. And we can make a little money. But we'll see how that closes up at the end of the day. And the 60, I think. Let's look at that 60-minute. See that the 60-minute is the momentum's dropping. I mean, it's a serious divergence right there. So we'll probably see a pullback, at least to the low of 287. That's a hardy move, man. That's a hardy move. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see that. Maybe we'll just close the gap. I mean, we haven't seen momentum in the past few days that would substantiate a move to the yesterday's low. And if the summer starts off this dull, could you imagine what the last 2 weeks of August are going to be? Because historically, that's like vacation time for Wall Street, the last 2 weeks of August. So, everybody takes their rugrats out and, goes vacationing before they get to drop them off at school. So, I mean, if we're slow now, man, August is just going to be like watching paint dry. Who wants an amusing anecdote? So I went out for a run this morning and ran by the local coffee shop. Bunch of old timers sitting in there. It's all a very cool scene, very welcoming people. But so I like to write, and when I'm just giving you a little background, when I get lost in thought, it's common that I actually lose sight of what's around me, and I'll talk out loud, and my family finds it pretty comical watching me do that, and they like to make fun of me, or they interrupt me, which is a drag because I kind of get lost in a zone. I get lost on a thought, and I could develop thought. So anyway, yeah, I could do that on poems or short stories. So I was running through town, and they're preparing the town for 4th of July. So the flags are coming out, and the foods, fried and fat stands are coming out and everything. And I was kind of thinking of a piece that I could write about the activities and the 4th of July and kind of the vibe after the pandemic. And they have those amusement rides. Those pop-up amusement parks are like really small, dinky rides, and when you look at them as a parent, it like instills fear in your heart by the appearance of these things. And I was kind of thinking of how I was going to describe them, and I was thinking that they instill that they're life-threatening. And then I thought, I'm sitting in the coffee shop now having breakfast, and I was thinking about this, and I was lost in thought, and I really like zoned out, and I guess I was talking out loud, and so I'm the crazy guy in the corner who kind of talks to himself, and I blurted out to like the image or a way to describe these rides. I blurted out child maiming, right? And I think that's all I said, child maiming. And for the rest of my breakfast, the table next to me was just staring at me. And they were sitting there like it was two elderly folks, one like maybe 30 or 40-year-old individual, and two grandchildren. Oh, man. And I sit there and I go, child maiming. And they just kept staring at me. So anyway, I finished my breakfast and went on my way, But anyway, I find myself in those situations quite often. So I figured I would share that with you. Not that I have any interest in maiming a child, but I was just trying to think of how I would describe the rides, to paint the image of what I was actually feeling and seeing when I was running through the town. So it was funny. Yeah, I mean, they were just like dead staring at me, like blank, not an intimidating stare where they were trying to be confrontational, but they were trying to figure me out, or if I was a threat or what have you. Yeah, that's funny, right? Yeah, so anyway, like I like to write stories, but half the time the little stories I'll write, or the little anecdotes I write, are situations like that I end up finding myself in and getting myself in trouble. So Lady Grid, I mean, she talks about she wants me, oh, look at that, man, we're breaking out to the upside. That's pretty cool. I'm apprehensive about taking trades, but that's a nice push. It doesn't really have the support of the NASDAQ or the Russell or the Dow, so I don't know how far it'll run. But I mean, right there's already $2. Oh. Yeah, you know what? If I was paying attention, I probably wouldn't have taken it because, I have that bias today. So Lady Grid wants to make a YouTube channel, and she keeps asking me to just film what goes on in my life, because I mean, these things happen more often than you would think to me, and she just thinks that, I guess, humiliating me in public is a good content for a channel. but I like to have fun and do things like that. Short, is that the child or what? Child maiming rides? No, actually, I was thinking about just writing a piece on this little town I'm in right now, and because it's just a really great town, great people, and very welcoming. And I mean, I don't think that. So I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts jumping around my head right now, but the people I'm finding in the Northeast of the country, mainly like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, they're lost. I feel they're lost, and I mean I'm one of those people. I come from that area, but they're so engrossed in this me culture, and so about money and materialism that they're angry at one another, and they're bitter. Oh my goodness, this is a nice move. Well, I guess that's really it was 308. It's 2 sticks right there. That would have been $1 in options. So okay, I'm just wondering if I'm missing a good move, but I don't think I am. I mean, it looks better than it is because the bars are so small. But so I want to write a piece about what what they're actually missing. Just what. And really, I'm finding that this is a larger part of the world, the country, that they are actually, good, wholesome people, and family oriented and neighbor oriented, and not so much focused on the money and success and me, and it's just a really, really angry culture going on around the tri-state area, especially when you get into the suburbs of those areas. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys live in the communities where you know your neighbors, and you have respect for one another, and you treat each other well, and you generally happy individuals. But so you may not understand how much of a loss of that feeling there is in the tri-state area. It just amazes me. It just amazes me, and it kind of breaks my heart, because I feel like that's the direction the country's going. Although when I'm traveling, I see that it's less common throughout the country. So anyway, I was thinking about just writing about this community and my experience and that kind of experience, and seeing if I could communicate that point. Kumbaya, my lord. Who knows? Maybe I could get them to rethink that. But like if you're on Long Island, New York, you could have a fight in a parking lot over a parking space. You know what I mean? Like if you inadvertently go into a space and somebody else was coming into the space, I mean, anywhere else you're like, oh, I'm sorry, and you'd probably say, please go ahead, take the space. I'll go find another space. Oh, forget about it, man. I mean, they'll berate your family. And the women, like the words that come out of these women's mouths. It's like, lady, you should be driving a truck, over a parking space. Or one time, like I was lost in my own world, as I do, and I was online at a shopping center, and at a supermarket, and I was carrying my goods, and a lady ahead of me was putting her goods on the cart, and I wasn't really thinking, and I dropped my goods at the end of the cart, and she had a whole cart, and I was really just lost in thought. Oh man, I dropped my goods actually at the end of the carousel, the conveyor belt that you put it on at the cash register, and she was unloading her cart. And she flipped out because I took that space, and I didn't analyze her cart and what she had to do in the whole 9 yards. It was really no big deal. I mean, I think I had eggs and some milk, and she's just flipped out, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Wow, ma'am, are you really that angry over groceries, or is there something else that's really bothering you?" And then she kind of looked at me like I was a freak, but I couldn't believe that somebody would flip out over that. I mean, if it was me, I would have said, excuse me, I need that space. Or I would have crammed my stuff up a little bit and put a little more things on. So anyway, that's what the experience is. So yeah, this has nothing to do with trading. I'm just going off on a tangent. So anyway, that's what I was thinking about. Why I was thinking about writing that. So yeah, see, there you go. We got a 2-point move, and it came back, and now you're testing your entry right there. So you would have been 1 off, and a break even on the remainder of your 2/3 or the remainder of your unit. Looks like AMC's doing what it usually does, which is makes that move first thing in the morning and then kind of fades off. But I got to figure out why I keep doing that. I'm sure it's a setting I did. That could be cool right there. I mean, it's making a higher low on the momentum, making a higher high on the chart, and you have a really strong support right there, or at least a well-tested support, resistance, I'm sorry. So if you're looking for an entry on this, you could take that 61, breaking that 61, that might be a fairly decent entry. See how it does right here. If it breaks that 58, yeah, I mean, that's a little more aggressive. You could take that too, but I probably want to see the 61 and confirm that this thing is starting an upward move before I got involved. And you still have a lot of resistance. I mean, this is just trading within the consolidation pattern. And you have figure 51 to 65. So you have 14 points right there that you could play with if you were trading this. But in the long run, it's still just in the consolidation. No. So I guess instead of a trading channel, this is really a therapy channel for me, where I could just come and talk and air my views. Unless somebody's got a question that pertains to how I make a living, and then we could turn this back into a trading channel. I'm just looking around at the other markets and seeing what they're doing. Everything's flat. I mean, Tesla's flat, Amazon's flat, Microsoft's flat, Apple's flat. S&P is probably the strongest of them all. Yeah, there's just nothing good going on here. You know, maybe we could see a few things that we could point out on the technical to get your eyes accustomed to it. But that's about it. But if you're new to the channel, this is Dave, Off Grid Trading, and I'm coming to you live from the back of a sailboat, offending the locals. And from time to time, my internet service knocks out. So if you hit the subscribe and you hit the bell, you'll get a notification as soon as I get right up. And if you like my rhetoric, hit the like. Spread the word. You want to support the channel, there's a link in the description. But more importantly, spread the word and hit the like, because that just helps me get the word out. And I would like to reach the masses. So if I could educate a lot of people, teach them how to make money, that's a huge karmic deposit for me, right? Because I had read that whatever good you do in the world revisits you tenfold. So if that's not motivation to help people out, I don't know what is. Where's the low of today? Damn, the low of today is the open, which I guess was yesterday's high from the appearance of those bars. And if you're new to the channel, check out my channel, because I have some training videos that I put out. And yeah, they're crude, but I'm a trader. I'm not a YouTuber. So, oh, look at that. AMC did exactly what we anticipated, which was the morning run and then a turnaround. Yeah, it's just consolidating in here, man. You know what? I don't know. I don't want to tell anybody to cut bait and run, but after this period of time, I certainly wouldn't be in that trade anymore. And we're just watching the S&P 957, so we can put in our opening range, which a lot of colors going on this line. I got purple, I got a red line, I got a yellow line. That's one important line. Can't even see the yellow line. Let's see if it even makes that. This would be the opening range, high and low. So we got 97 to 10. I mean, we got 12 points. Yeah, you could trade it if you wanted to, but I usually don't trade it unless it's 14 points or better. Price exit for HUT. That depends on what your entry is, man. That's an open-ended question. I'll just start blabbing about HUT, and maybe I'll come across something that's of value to you. And when you entered and how long you've been in it, you know what I mean? So I mean, I would have taken an entry on this bearish, this bullish divergence. I probably would have taken the entry over here and got whacked out one time, or taken a little off and then got whacked out. But I would have seen this really nice strong daily and that divergence, and I would have tried to get involved around $3. So it's not giving me anything on a daily that would tell me to get out of it. So how long you looking? So is that the title? Price exit, feel trade from trade has an interesting thesis. Oh, I want to hear about that thesis. 465 is your average, month and a half. You've been in it a month and a half, or Mr. Loop and with your fractional sentences, your incomplete sentences. So anyway, on the daily, there's nothing that would tell me to get out of it. You could set up some targets right here. Just use a fib. It'll give you an idea. I mean, and you know how I trade. I take pieces off, so I don't hold in for the whole thing. So, arguably, you'll probably hit some resistance around 545, but a healthy, I would be all off at 806. But I would probably ride it up. I'd probably take a piece off at 545, take a third off, and then put a break-even stop. And then I'd probably take another third off at the 38% and move my stop up to the 23%, and then hope for the 50%. And then I'd probably trail it behind the 50 to see if I can get to that 61%, because I'm trying to catch 80% of a move at least. And I mean, that's my goal ultimately, to get to 80% of a move. Oh, you've been in it for a month and a half? So, what are you buying things like on the way down, trying to catch that spinning knife? If that's what you do, just take a breath, hold off a day, and let the security confirm that it's going to move in your direction. If you give up a couple of ticks, don't worry about it. You're not in it for a couple of ticks or a couple of points. Just hang back and let it confirm that it's doing the reversal. Like when you see a hammer like this, like people just get in on the hammer. Wait for the break of the hammer. You know, that's the confirmation. I mean, I'm just speculating. Got it. Thank you. Just wanted to see your input on exit strategy. All right, cool. So hopefully I am of use. All right, I want to see if Miss Kerry shared. Trade's got interesting. Trade has an interesting thesis re AMC. Can you share that thesis, or can you give me some place that I could look at what his thesis is? What I'm really looking for is one of the free folk had told us that the hedge funds were using convertible debt to go delta neutral on their positions. And I mean, that really compromises the whole play, but I can't confirm it. He gave me a link to Reddit, but it seems like they keep canceling that link. So I don't know if the moderators cancel it for lack of verification of what people are saying, or if there's a moderator who's just biased, you know, and promoting AMC and just knocking out any bad information. So if anybody has any information pertaining to the hedge funds using convertible debt to go delta neutral or to hedge their shorts, I'd love for you to direct me to it so I could check it out. So anyway, on my end of the day wrap up, I kind of mentioned it, but let everybody know that I did confirm that AMC does have convertible debt that they issued, but I can't confirm that the hedge funds are buying that convertible debt. So AMC has transcended beyond the fundamentals, where it is now is sentimental value and systemic change for those looking at it for a quick flip. He says you're not looking at it the right way. So transcended beyond fundamental. Yeah, okay, so that does become sentimental value. So I don't know. I mean, it sounds like his argument is saying that it's worth more than the fundamentals. And that would be the case because people have sentimental value. But I don't understand what he means by transcended. So he thinks that the company is worth more. I mean, when it comes right down to it, when you're buying stock in a company, you're buying the company. When all the hype fails, all this is the value of the company. So eventually, it's not like gold, right? Gold has a sentimental value. That's really the only value in gold. It doesn't have a real value. It's what we as individuals decide it's worth. It's not like it's a resource that's eaten up in our daily lives or our economy or anything like that. It just has sentimental value. But how is AMC going to keep the faith or that sentimental value? It's not like gold. It's actually a company with a management team that really I'm not impressed with. So, this is, I mean, I don't want to poo-poo guys, but, they're definitely showing their age, I got to say. I mean, things like that are not comments that I would make in front of people I respect in the industry. I mean, it's what I would say if I was a stock promoter. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the stock promoters of the 80s and 90s. But, that was the next chapter to the pump and dump or the chop shops. Then, from chop shops, once the regulators got all over that, the bozos became stock promoters. And this is like what I'm hearing, I'm hearing a lot of stock promoting on this. Oh, look at S&P breaking through the highs again. See, and look at all this whippiness. Breaks the highs, comes back. I'm not trading this nonsense. And you know, I mean, a short squeeze is a viable trading philosophy, but you know, at one point the squeeze doesn't work, and you know, I mean, you're short squeezing some of the best in the industry. So I mean, and their business is risk management. So before they take these positions, they know how to manage their risk, or even if they're in their position, and the environment changes, they know how to manage their risk. So and that's why I'm curious to find out about that convertible bond, because I mean, if they went delta neutral on this, then you know, I mean, I don't care how much buying power the apes have, that you're not going to get that squeeze. You're not going to get the momentum, because they've just basically negated their risk. You know, they're just delta neutral. Let's see, AMC transcend. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that. Although I know you're loop and loop. I know you're a sharp cat, and yeah, you know, like just what I've seen. I know you have your head on straight. But you know, a long term is a long term, and a swing is a swing, and never the two shall meet. You know, if you like the stock long term, leave it alone. You know, I mean, I know lots of guys who have been swing trading and trading Virgin Galactic. Net, I've made more money, and I don't even touch it. You know, and I go through that with them all the time. But so I mean, you know, you do what you do, but it's just two separate things to me. You know what I mean? Like my long-term portfolio is my long-term portfolio, and then you know, my investment, and then I have a moderate speculation portfolio, and I have a speculation portfolio. Talitha, where have you been, woman? Convertible debt. Okay, so companies have the option of issuing one or two things, right? They can issue stock, where they just sell you stock and they get capital in their company, and they use that capital to operate. Or they can issue debt, which is also called a bond or a corporate bond, right? So they give you a bond, and each bond parity is worth $100. So they give you a bond, and you give them $100, but it's kind of a loan, and that bond pays interest, right? And that's what debt means. So they issue a bond, or basically you give them a loan of $100 in the form of a bond, and you get interest on that bond every month. And the bonds can go up or down. So you know, the parity when they first issue the bond is $100, and then the bond can go down to 87. It could go down to zero technically, or the bond could go up infinitely technically. But each month you get interest, and I think right now bonds are like maybe 5%. So you get $5 for every $100 you lend them. So that's what they mean by debt. They issue debt. They issue a bond. Convertible debt means in the agreement of that bond, it says that you can return that bond at the current price, or at a certain period of time, you'll get your $100 back and all the interest that you've accumulated over time. Convertible aspect of it is, in the agreement, it says you could also take that bond and turn it into stock shares. So what's happening here, or what may be happening here, is that if a hedge fund is short 1,000 shares, they'll buy the convertible debt that they can convert into 1,000 shares of stock, right? So they're holding this bond, and their shorts are covered. Okay, so if they decide they don't want this, they could always take their convertible stock and close out their shorts. But while they're sitting in the position, they're collecting interest. So now, from waiting for this short to happen and not making money or paying margin interest, they actually made this a income positive situation, because they have the bonds that have a guaranteed price on the stock, right? So the convertible aspect of it says you can buy this stock at I don't know, 20% below premium. I don't know what the verbiage is, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. So there's a set price that they can buy the stock, they can convert the bonds into stock at, and while they're waiting, they're collecting interest. So I mean that's like a total game changer, man. And if they buy that bond and they cover their shorts, they can demonstrate the covering of the shorts. They no longer have margin calls. They're not carrying any margin. They have no risk because they own the stock. It's like doing a covered call. So really a game changer on it. Hut is going to minimum $20 by the close of the day, end of 2021. Wow, that's like a guarantee, man. Can I get that in? Well, I guess I have it in writing. He says the ape community is angry. Yeah, well, that's I mean, I don't know about these dudes, man. I mean, you know what? If you're expressing emotion in a trade, kind of losing my confidence. Oh wow, thank you. Hey, I'm glad I wowed you. Anytime. Thanks for the question, man. Thanks for the content. All right, well, I got 6 more hours to burn, so any other questions? Fire them up. Fire them up. Markets are squeezing their way up. See, we just crawl around these new highs, and this is just not good for me. I mean, obviously, I'm very risk averse. That's the way you do it. If you look at any well-run hedge fund, you will find that they too are very risk adverse. The humanity. The note has been converted back in January. You know what? I think there was that company Silver Lake that was long those bonds. I mean, from what I could dig up, and they used those bonds to convert. And they converted some bonds into stock and made a boatload of money, and sold the stock. So I don't know what the current outstanding issue is on that debt. I don't know that the debt is closed. I mean, you know what? I just heard that, and it appears like rumor because I can't get any news on it. All right, Tim, good. I'm glad you're listening. That's how it starts, right? Everybody listening. Because you can't see me. Appears... so that's cool, Mr. Humanity. But if you have, if you can direct me to where you have that information, I'd appreciate it. I'd like to dig it up and see where it's at, so that I got a few folks in here who have an interest in AMC, and I'd like to be able to speak more intelligently on it. But it's definitely something that everybody should be taking a look at. How much effect? Well, okay, so if they are going delta neutral on their position, that means that no matter how high it goes, they don't lose any money, right? And if it goes down, they're not making any money. That's what delta neutral means, right? So it could go up or down. What time is it? 10:15. It could go up or down, and they're not making or losing money. So it's basically a non-event. So what it does is it affords them the opportunity to exhaust the squeeze, right? So basically the squeeze won't happen. If they, no matter how high you push it up, there's no incentive for them to get out of the position, because while the short's losing money, the long is making money. And in the interim, I mean, even though it's not booked money, it's paper money, in the interim, they're collecting interest on their position. So, I mean, now, as long as they're in the position, they'll be making money. If they're delta neutral and actually have that. But again, it would definitely mean that the squeeze idea is broken and it's time to close the position. But I haven't seen anything to confirm that. So, I mean, it's good that everybody has that. It looks like I missed a good uptrend. Nah, it wasn't that good, man. Tommy, it shot up. It went up $2, came back down, would have knocked you out of a trade, shot up again. I mean, it's just chopping its way up, and it's not, it's not something I would trade. I mean, I stayed away from it for just that. So look, where my crosshair is the breakout, and that's roughly 308, and then it topped out at 310, $2. I mean, it's $1 on an option, and then it came back, right? So you would have been knocked out. I mean, if you trade how I trade, which is take a third off and go to break even, and then it broke again, came up and broke again. I mean, we're not buying on the lows, in the mid range of the opening range. So I mean, there were really, nothing in it. I mean, even if you went to the low and to the high, you got 5 points, so you would have picked up 2.5 points. It's not a good expanding market. So you didn't miss much. Appreciate your insight. How much effect? Well, that's the effect. Looks like you missed in considering my opportunity cost just sitting on AMC stock. Yeah, I mean, everybody's hoping for a home run. I mean, that's all that AMC is coming down to. It's not really a, how you trade and make money. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity lost. That's like that trader, that young guy who used to work with me at my firm, who gets into Apple, trades Apple, but doesn't have good discipline on getting out. So he gets stuck in that stock for like weeks. He turns a trade into an investment, and I think it was a month and a half was his last hold on Apple. But all the opportunity he's missing out. I mean, even if he took a little loss when his idea broke down, he just doesn't have the balls to take the loss. He would have made a lot more money just trading it, based on his entries. His entries are good. Just once in a while, I don't care how good your entry is, you're going to take a loss. He just refuses to take that loss. So he leaves a lot of money on the table. So he can't really make a living trading because he'll go a month and a half without booking a profit. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity lost on that, on those situations. But it shouldn't, a trade like that's for fun, just to say you were in it. Shouldn't be the lion's share of your portfolio or your trading account if you're a trader. And I mean, based on what I'm hearing, I mean, there's really no traders in this environment, in this space. I mean, if the apes are angry, then there's not a whole lot of professionalism being promoted in this. But you know what? If you get into a situation like this and you make money, that's what can make your career. I mean, you take that money and you put it into an account. You learn how to trade properly, and you could build a career. But I mean, everybody's excited. They're rooting. They're having a good time, and that that's fine. But that's not what the market's about. That's not how you trade. If you're getting excitement out of the market, then your head is all wrong. The market's boring, man, and being a trader is boring. And if it's exciting, you're doing something wrong. You're absorbing too much risk or assuming too much risk, and your head's in the wrong place, because when it's exciting, it can be frightening too. You're going to have the other side of the coin, and it's just the wrong concept. So anyway, that's why I like streaming, because it's just boring, man. I just sit here all by myself waiting for a good setup, and then during the summer, the market doesn't present much, and that is even more boring, and I'm ADD, so it's hard for me to focus. So I start drifting and daydreaming. I mean, it just becomes a mess. But that's what trading is. You know, this excitement and to the moon and all of that stuff, man. I've never seen a greater representation of a lack of professionalism in the industry before. Like if you did this in a trading firm, woo, you'd get laughed out. There used to be an old term, an old time term for guys who addressed or approached the market like this, and it came out of England, and it was Larry Swag, and yeah, you know, before it was electronic trading and trades were done on the phone. You'd hear one of the traders be like, "Yo, I got a Larry Swag on the phone. Anybody want to deal with him?" Yeah, you know, and it was just, yeah, you know, it was like just ridiculous. You know, these people who are just so emotional and think that this is a form of excitement and a gamble. I mean, even a professional gambler is a risk manager. I mean, that's what he does, and he plays statistics and probabilities, and that's what this is. It's statistics and probabilities. The best hedge fund traders in the world have, on their bad years, have maybe a 3% drawdown. That's the extent of the risk that they take. 3% of their whole equity for the year. Yeah, you know, that was their greatest drawdown. Do you think the jobs report tomorrow could tank stocks? You know what, man? Everybody is bullish on the market. I mean, this market is just crazy resilient, dude. And every time I see a technical indication that the market is going to pull back, she just runs, and it's been doing that for years, man. You know, so, and there's going to be a long-winded answer. So, yeah, you know, right here, this doji, that doji, for all intents and purposes, should have been an indication that the trend is over, right? So we're in a trend. So here's a lower, here's a low, here's a high, here's a higher low, higher high, and each bar is just an uptrend bar. I mean, even this bar, as subtle as it is a higher low to a higher high, right? So this bar right here was screaming to me that, and this divergence, right? So you have this high right here for the day, and you have this high in the momentum right here, and then you got this crazy high, and the momentum is like barely moving. There's a divergence on the momentum and the move up. So, you know, when it was here with this doji, it should have retraced at least to the 23 and consolidated. So okay, so my point is that we're in a bull market, and when you're in a bull market, any good news moves them. Any little good moves the market up, and any bad news, no matter how bad, gets shaken off. So tomorrow, will you know what, I mean, I can't call it. I mean, I'm staying away because I don't know what I don't know. But if it shows that inflation, no, you know what, I have to say that I just think the market's going to edge its way up. I really don't foresee it tanking, but I think that intelligent people are looking at it and orchestrating what they're going to do going forward. So, you know, real hedge funds and stuff like that are saying, okay, this is what the environment looks like, and this is how I'm going to start positioning my portfolio. And that doesn't happen overnight. You know, that's like over time. Like, you know, there are even guys who saw the cracks in 2007 just based on the LIBOR and started repositioning their portfolios before everybody went under. You know, there's no sleight of hand or anything in it. They just looked at what was going on in the environment around them and saying, yo, I think I see something, you know, changing here, and I'm going to reposition for that. And that's what may happen with tomorrow's report. You know, maybe a little consolidation, but I don't see a big sell-off. I mean, today we have the lowest unemployment continuing claims, I think it was, since the beginning of the pandemic, which would mean that people are going out there, they're working, they're spending money, and you know, the economy's on the rise. So it would be an indication that we have to worry about inflation. and yet you can see what the market's doing. I mean, it's shaking off that bit of news. So to make a short story long, I don't know about a tanking. So how quick was it to trade on the phones versus now? Like you see Wolf of Wall Street or the Big Short, they were using phones to get quotes. No, they weren't using phones to get quotes. Okay, Wolf of Wall Street really isn't indicative of what trading is. I mean, they were over-the-counter guys, and it wasn't fast-moving, and you know, it was a lot of sleight of hand. So it's not really telling you a good story about trading. The Big Short's fairly accurate. And what was that, 2007? So yeah, you know, there was electronic trading. I was definitely on a computer in 2007, but I was also talking to traders, and that's what they're doing. They're not getting a quote, but they're talking to traders. You know, the quote's on the screen, but they're saying, listen, I got this size piece, and you know, what do you give me for it? You know, if you go right to the market and you have a big size piece, you're going to end up forcing down the market on your order flow. As a trader, you could go to another trader and cut a deal and say, hey, listen, you know, I'm unloading, you know, 10,000 shares. Give me a price, and it'll be below the bid, but it's not going to be, you know, aggressively below the bid, and that's fine. But those guys were using different instruments too. It wasn't like they were using equities or what we're looking at right now. You know, so a lot of stuff isn't quoted like that. Like if you were trading bonds, you're not. I mean, you can get electronic quotes, but you're not doing it like we're doing it with AMC and things like that. You know, so I mean, you can get the quotes on the Bloomberg terminal, and then you go right to the market makers and you cut your deals. So, but prior to that time, when I first came into the industry, it was all on the phone. You know, like I remember writing a ticket for 1,000 shares of U.S. robotics and running to the trading desk, dropping the physical ticket right on the trader, and then the trader would grab the ticket, start dialing the phone to the market makers to try to get that order filled. So, and then I'd go back to my desk and I'd wait to hear if I got filled. So that's the difference. I mean, it's not point and click and you got filled. I mean, it was fun actually, and you had runners. You know, like I had a team of people around me, and you know, I'm hammering out tickets because I'm on the phone all the time, and I'm dropping the tickets to the traders. And this is when I was in the retail end of it, at the beginning of my my venue or career. And you know, the runners are running to the trading desk, and the trading desks are calling down to the floor. You know, and then the floor is out there. You know, you've seen like Easy Money, that movie, I think, with Eddie Murphy and Bill Murray. Not Bill Murray. I can't think of that other guy's name. Oh, Trading Places. I think that's what it was. Trading Places. I mean, like they were down on the exchange, like yelling and screaming to get the orders off. You know. So yeah, it was entirely different, man. It's nothing like this. And then back then, they didn't really have computer trading. You know, people were just starting to write algorithms and things like that. So there wasn't this kind of volume and volatility in the market. I mean, I remember going into work and like, you know, like securities moved like an eighth, and back then it was quoted in fractions. So an eighth is like 1.85 cents, and you know, like that was the move of the day, you know. And I remember coming into the industry like, holy shit, how do people make money? Like this stuff barely moves. But yeah, you know, it was done on size back then and making money on the spreads. So yeah, entirely different, man, entirely different. But it had more character to it. You know, it was a better culture, and you know, there was tradition to it. I mean, it hadn't changed. It changed sometime in the 2000s. They moved to decimals, you know, and representing it. But the quoting machines used to show like 48 and 1/4, so it would be 1/4, you know, with a fraction, and everything was quoted in fractions. And then you did the math in your head, you know, because they could quote as low as a 32nd, and you just had to be able to do the math in your head when you were watching the quotes, and you know, calling your orders or dealing with the traders. And then it just slowly evolved from there. I mean, I remember a time when you couldn't even see a client's account on screen, you know. And I remember a time when there wasn't an internet, so you had to actually buy a service where they would run a line right from the exchange to your office, so that you did get a quote, so that you had quotes. So yeah, it was a lot slower, man. It was a lot slower. But it was fast on the exchange floors. So, I mean, you go down to the floors, and yeah, you know, the phones are just ringing, and yeah, you know, trades were happening. And even at the firm trading desk, I mean, it was that dynamic, because there were, yeah, you know, like 160 brokers running to the trading desk to get orders filled, and the trading desk, yeah, you know, talking to traders. And then once the internet happened, it just got more remote. But it opened up a lot of different traders too. I mean, there were traders all over the place that you can go to. So, yeah, you know, lots of different changes in the market. Um, yeah, you're welcome, Tim. Hey, and yo, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. And if you want to support the channel, hit that PayPal, and I promise that money will go towards improving the quality. And after reviewing my training videos, boy, I could use some money. Yeah, the quality of those training videos, that it'll definitely change, but we'll leave those up there for, for reference, and we'll all look back on that and laugh at the quality of me stuttering and saying I sure do say a lot. Yeah, I like going back in the nostalgic. I kind of get back into. I could feel the you know, the vibe of the rooms and the mood, and yeah, you know, it's cool being back there, back in those days. I miss the days of building the firm when it was brand new. Yeah, you know, it was really cool, very exciting. Made really good friends, good people. Then as you get bigger, your culture just dilutes, and you know, then with time, I don't know, people just got weird, man, just weird. You know, like we used to pick on each other on purpose, because you just had to be tough in the industry. You were constantly dealing with rejection. If you were a retail guy, you were dealing with rejection from the general public. If you were a trader, then you were dealing with rejection from the brokers, from the traders. You know, it was, that's what it was about. So you couldn't be soft, you know, and you couldn't be sensitive. And oh man, and it just developed your tongue. Like, everybody had a really sharp tongue, and you could laugh just listening to a guy rip into another guy, and it was all done in good fun. You know, it was just to see, you know, how quick and witty you can be, and how fast on your feet you are. But nowadays, forget about it, man. It's lawsuits and crybabies, and jockeying around on my pronouns, and all sorts of rhetoric that I wonder if starving people are thinking about all the first world problems that we're worried about. Good morning, good morning. The secret trick to avoiding the ums is slow down the tempo of speaking. Yeah, but this is me, man. I'm passionate. I get, and it's not even the slowdown of my thought patterns, of my speaking, but it's my thought patterns, because I'm actually thinking of a lot of things, and I'm jumping around. So, yeah, I guess if I just focus, I'll flow a little better. But even while I'm talking to you, I'm kind of watching the market, looking around, thinking about my next move. You know, watching my income trades, and I'm just all over the place. But it's cool. As long as I have my coffee, it's a good way to live. And it's not too hot today, man. Murdoch Capital has traded in and out of AMC convertible debt and equity markets for profits that run into the hundreds of millions. June 2021. All right, cool. So Silver Lake Partners is, yeah, those guys, I mean, they did it really early. Same article. Yeah. So Murdoch Capital. Actually, I'm going to write that down. I just want to see, you know, I mean, I didn't really delve into it that much. So I'm not an expert on the AMC position. But I just want to see. I got to really see who the hedge firms are. You're so handy, Kerry. I'll tell you, man. I'd gobble you up if I had a firm. Yeah. Well, okay. So what it's telling me is that Murder Capital is just trading the momentum, which I'm sure a lot of people out there are just doing that. You know, taking advantage of the momentum. They could be taking advantage, kind of an arbitrage situation on the convertible debt. They could buy some debt, take in some interest payments that lowers their cost on the price of the conversion of the or of the stock when they convert to the stock, what the fixed price is. It's kind of like the option concept, right? So you buy an option, it gives you a right to buy the stock at a certain price. That's what the convertible debt does. They they issue you the debt. You're holding the bond. In the bond, it says you could sit on the bond or you can convert into stock and trade out of that. So that's how the hedge funds will be able to hedge their short without creating any buying in the stock. And it's just using the appropriate trading vehicles. It's not there's no sleight of hand to it or anything like that. I mean, it's just smart. And that's what you're dealing with, man. You're not dealing with idiots. They don't give guys like Wolf of Wall Street hedge funds. You know what I'm saying? Brilliant people build hedge funds. There are a few dopes that get into the industry, but they don't last very long and they're gone. And I promise you that you're not dealing with any dopes. I mean, you're talking about the best of the best. If you look at these people's credentials, I mean, they're just brilliant people that end up doing this. I mean, and just brilliant in statistics and probabilities and math, and they see things. I mean, they're tantamount to geniuses. I mean, a lot of them, if you look at their education and their track record, I mean, they're just brilliant people. And they have their hedge funds because they were gobbled up out of college because they were brilliant by major brokerage firms, and they learned the industry with some of the biggest people representing huge amounts of money, and they were so hot that they said, you know what, I might as well do this for myself. And they broke away from these huge firms making crazy money to go out and do it, build their firms themselves. So, I mean, the apes are angry. You know what? That's a perfect description of what's going on. You have a bunch of apes who are angry. I don't know how much money I'm giving the silverback at Central Park Zoo to manage. Oh my God. AMC issue 400. Okay, so just based on the article you just told me, they're issuing new shares. So that's not shares that trade in the market. So they're diluting the market again, right? They did a $9 million issuance. They diluted the market. They did a $27 million issuance. They diluted the market. And now they're doing a $44 million or million share issuance and diluting the market. The CEO of AMC is literally urinating on the heads of the apes. That's what they're doing, right? Because, I mean, it's all about supply and demand. They're increasing the supply of shares, making the stock more vulnerable and really favoring the shorts. These guys are cashing in on the hype. They are doing exactly what the apes wanted to do, which is cash in on this high price. And that's why these guys are unloading all this stock. They know they will not see these prices again. You know, I mean, I hate to poo-poo the trade, but this is exactly what I'm feeling. And the behavior of AMC, and after watching this guy on his interview, wow, that's crazy, man. So this kind of leads me to feel that that it's actually true that the hedge funds have bought up the convertible debt, because you know, the next day this guy comes out and says, listen, we will issue the shares to accommodate that debt instead of having to convert to go out into the market. They'll convert and close out that debt. Wow, that's amazing. And you know what? If the shorts go down, the hedge funds can still hold on to the debt, collect the interest, and then when the bonds mature, they'll still get $100 a bond out of it. So even if the stock goes down and the convertible value diminishes, they're still going to get parity on that bond, because no matter where the bond is, if you hold it to maturity, you get parity. If you trade it before maturity, you're going to get the market price. So, I don't know, man. Protect your downside on this. And just mind you that this is all armchair from me. I mean, just based on the clippings and stuff that we're looking at. I'm not really digging into it. And, there could be hype. I mean, I see a lot of... because yesterday I think the article was convertible hedge. They didn't mention that it was convertible debt. They said it's a convertible hedge, which I had no idea what that meant. But when I looked into it, I saw that they had convertible debt. Yeah, this is funny. I think the apes are angry now, man. Wait until they start realizing they're having a golden shower. Million shares. Holy smokes. Yo, it's like the CEO of this company is on the payroll of the shorters. I mean, I can't believe how this guy's doing everything he can to accommodate these shorters. Not that that's his goal. I mean, you're talking about a company that was strapped for cash, and they needed money to operate. And I mean, it still seems like a broken business model, but it's probably good money after bad. I mean, just off the cuff thinking. But that's what this guy's doing. He's taking every opportunity he can to raise cash to try to save this company. And by diluting the shares, I mean, if he's not profitable, then his earnings per share diminishes because he diluted his shares. So he's going to look real bad next earnings season, or AMC is going to. So I say it's still a good short. People are going to be angry. You'll have to watch Trey's video from last night. Yeah, you know what? Let me write that down too. Trey. Yeah, absolutely. Gives them more to sell. But you know what? Everybody who has the convertible debt are going to take those shares that he's issuing You know, even if it's not the shorters, if you have the convertible debt and he's issuing it and it says, okay, you can convert at $7, yeah, you're going right to the market with those shares, man. You're going to go right to the market and liquidate, you know, and just flood the market. Just give more shares for the apes to buy, you know. Oh, man, you could do like funny cartoon captions when this is all over with these apes. Yeah, I hope I'm the voice of reason. I mean, yeah, you know, it could be my, egg on my face if the buying power comes in. But I mean, yeah, you know, this is just trying to pick it apart and understand what's transpiring. Yeah, yeah, 3 dilutions, right? That's something, man. That's something. Yeah, that's quite a physics. Yeah, he's saying it's good for AMC. You should be happy. Well, yeah, you know, the apes are his shareholders, so he's got to placate to his shareholders. But I mean, any intelligent shareholder probably isn't holding it for the good of the company or the value of the company. They've sold out already, I'm sure, or at least I feel. But I can't. I mean, it's cash into the company, but again, it's kind of like a guy jumps off the 50th floor, and at the 10th floor, you say, "How you doing?" And the guy's going to say, "Good so far." You know, the guy's fine until he hits the ground, and that's really what's going on here. So, yeah, you know, this guy is, yeah, you know, raising money, and yeah, you know, throwing it in there. But I wonder what his incentives are too, like his parachute clauses and stuff like that. He may be making the company liquid enough so that when it wraps up, he gets paid his, you know, 30 or 40 mil. Yeah, well, you know what? When you do that, when you issue debt or you do an underwriting, it should be to expand your business, and it's going to generate additional revenue. I don't, yeah, you know, I mean, like the theater model. I mean, what are you going to do? How's he going to be innovative? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be like a novelty thing now. So I think that the volume is going to be a lot less than it used to be. You know, it's not the primary way to go see a movie. I mean, yeah, you know, a lot of the production companies are going right to video and charging right at video. You know, it's a whole new business model. I mean, how's this guy going to capture part of this business model if his business model is, you know, rent from the production companies and, you know, project to the public? I mean, we could do that ourselves. That'd be like, you know, if there's still a floor trader out there using a telephone. It's like, dude, you can get 2 phones. I don't care. You're not going to make any more money. You got to get online. They proudly call themselves dumb money. Yeah, you know what? People don't want to be wrong, and you have to be willing to be wrong. This is not a pride game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes your ideas don't work. I mean, you know, happens all the time, and that's you know, a big downfall of a new trader. I don't want to call them novice traders, but these guys, they're not even traders. I mean, you know, this is you know, a community of apes. So, you know, hey, they just don't want to admit, okay, this idea didn't work. And, you know what? Hedge funds, mutual funds, everybody, every professional in the industry has ideas that don't work. And it's really the 80-20 split in life, you know? 80% of your income comes from 20% of your ideas. And that's consistent in equities. or in trading. You make your money on 20% of the ideas. 80% of them probably didn't work out or didn't do what you expected. And that's why risk management is so big. And these guys can't deal with that. I mean, GameStop was a home run. It was a new concept. It blindsided an industry, and it was cool and it worked. But that risk was exposed, and it would be an idiot who didn't consider that risk in their trading philosophy again. And that's not what hedge firms do. They don't deny the reality of what's going on around them. They mitigate risk. It's all about the risk. And I think people are falling short on that. Yeah. They do. They just want to be. They just want to be right, and it's not ape specific. Every trader does that. Every time you move your stop, that's exactly what you're doing. You're just trying to be right instead of trading the market. You see a lot of guys fail because they just want to be right. And the sharpest guys are the ones who go the other way. If there's any sharp apes out there, they'll be shorting this thing. They'll decide, okay, I'm wrong, and they'll go short. And that is a seasoned trader who has the ability to see that the circumstances changed and he should go the other direction. I do love to pat myself on the back when I make that call, when I reverse a trade. That was the move. That was the move. And that's like when Silver Lake made their money. I don't even think Silver Lake sat in it that long. They saw the move, converted their debt, and got the hell out. But that June 28th news. And you know what? I mean, I haven't seen it on CNBC, but they're going to start talking about it. And just, they understand where the guy's coming from. There's an incredible price on their stock, and they need money to do business. And they're capitalizing on this surge. Looks like everybody but the apes are making money. That's a shame. These guys lose their money. That's a whole lot of traders who could have joined my channel and learned how to trade. But that's the interesting thing about the market. In order for somebody to win, somebody's got to be losing. Regrettably, it's usually the novice. Look at that shooting star right there. Crazy. Breaks a high, makes a shooting star, but you're not going to get much move out of it. And look what the market's doing. I mean, how do you trade this market? Just running up, shooting down, running up, shooting down. And with all this movement, you're really not going anywhere. I'll stay away. Oh, I thought today was going to be like a slow, boring day for me. You guys got me all fired up. Gave me something to talk about. The composite is only up like half a buck. And we're coming into lunch, so it's going to get even slower. Oh, is now the time to short it? Well, you know what? I mean, a lot of smart money is shorting it. I mean, I'm not taking that play. You know, it's not how I trade or how I invest. But anything's possible. Yep, the hangman is a trend. Well, yeah, it's an indication that the trend may change. Are you talking about the one I just showed you on this? I may be wrong on the verbiage or the name of the bar. I'm kind of certain that's a shooting star. I think a hangman would actually be this guy right here, the one next to it. Usually pops up and then has a long tail down and then closes up again. And that's that's a hangman, and this is a shooting star. I mean, if I'm incorrect in that, let me know. I didn't study Japanese candles. I just know trading patterns. No, I didn't take any trades today, man. I mean, because it's doing this. You know, it's just doing these little pops and trading back and forth. I mean, it's not really. It doesn't feel like it's trading in good order to me. It's just all over the place. And it looks like a lot going on here, but it's not a very big move. I mean, that's 3 points right there. So, yeah, you know, it's breaking and then trading back and, you know, just whipping around. But it is, it's grinding higher. But, yeah, you know, I mean, if I was an algorithm, I would be trading this because I could see the entries quicker. And the exits quicker. But yeah, you know, you could see a steady upward trend, and then you know, making higher highs. But the higher highs don't even come after the lows and the turnaround. You know, makes a double bottom, consolidates a little bit, pops up, comes back down. Just not trading in good order. And traditionally, I just don't trade the Thursday before the report, because this is what you see. So even if the market was trading in good order, I probably wouldn't believe it. And you know I'm risk adverse. And I judge my performance on how small my drawdown is, not how great my profits are. And I'm hungry, and I think I'm fasting today, so I guess I'm going to be hungry all day. Oh, I'm done with my coffee. But if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying my rhetoric, subscribe, and you got to hit that bell, man, because I get knocked offline all the time, and you're going to want to know when I come back up, because you just can't make all this stuff up. And hit the like because it helps me promote the channel. And if you want to share it, I have a Twitter handle. And if you want to support us, there's a PayPal link in the descriptions. Everything in the descriptions. And I love to talk. So you got any questions? No such thing as a dumb question or a bad question. Ask away. I don't care if you're a pro or if you're brand new at this. I love the sound of my own voice, so ask me a question. Yeah, at this point, I mean, if these guys are still hooraying AMC, I don't know. I mean, I gotta wonder if they're just being stock promoters. You know, they have their position, they have their interest. I mean, they could have a big position and try to be rolling out of it, and they'll be preaching to the crowd, and that's going to be interesting if they do that, because I think regulators will look at that. I mean, there's nothing that FINRA can do, because you have to be a member of FINRA for them to do anything to you. You know, they can't just pursue citizens, and they can't bother you once you leave the regulatory organization. But the SEC is a government entity, and the SEC might look at it and question what you're doing, or question whether you're being a stock promoter. And if these guys are rolling out of their positions while they're cheerleading for these securities, these kids are going to meet with a wrath that they're just not familiar with, man. You know, I mean, they're going to have to deal with something for years. And they could get banned from trading. They'll get thrown on what's called a Thompson list, and every brokerage firm will run their name, which they do that, you know, and they find out if you have any financial irregularities, and they could deny you trading accounts and stuff like that. So I mean, these guys are opening up the door for some real nonsense. Include hashtags. Yeah, I guess I got to get versed on hashtags, man. Yeah, you know. Yeah. I'm really a social media neophyte. I mean, like, you know, the off-grid or loner persona is not actually a persona. I mean, it's actually who I am. You know, I spent a lot of years being weird by being the CEO of companies, and you know, kind of in my own world, and you know, it kind of skews your view on people. So I became, I guess, a bit of a recluse, even as a CEO. So social media didn't attract me. You know, social anything didn't really attract me. Except for maybe a social inept. You retweeted my post this morning with the hashtags, and got about 800 impressions and 2 interactions. So, can you elaborate on what a hashtag is? Retweeted my post. Well, I appreciate you retweeting my post, Tommy. I know you do look out for me. I guess to really promote this channel, I should get somebody out there who's paying attention all day and interested in promoting the channel and doing all the hashtags and retweets and all that stuff. Nope, sorry, just looking around, writing some stuff down. Not hashtag, it's pound. Okay, see? Pound, AMC stock, pound, day trading. Okay, cool, I get it. So you do that in the tweets, and then people, it's kind of like the tags in my YouTube. Pounds are like keywords for what's trending. Okay, so I thought it was referred to as hashtag, but okay, pound, AMC stock, pound day trading. So yeah, I got to delve into that. All right, cool. And then I guess if I get all those impressions, people are visiting my tweet, I could direct them to my channel, and maybe get some love out of that. Oh, look at them composites trading off. S&P up 12. Yeah, the markets are all over. Everybody's doing their own thing today. Yeah, yeah, I got that. It's a pound sign, but they're calling it a hashtag. My daughter is a digital marketer specializing in social media. Oh, is she really? Oh, really? So, yeah, is there like a generation gap on that pound sign, where they call it a hashtag now? Is that what I need, a digital marketer? I just thought I'd have a partner who would look out for promoting the site. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Or maybe that is a bad idea, huh? Anthony's not even that old. You know what happens when you get partners. They want to go on vacation. Man, and the markets. Oh, look at AMC, man. I just fell asleep. This is a fight between the apes and people converting their debt to use up all that buying power. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. What a mess. Yo, what's up with the market? We on the give back, and we're still not giving back much. Look at this, just choppy nonsense. Explain this to me. What's going on? And then we break that trend line. I mean, it does the last kiss. I guess, you can't argue with that pattern right there. But still, you're down $2. Yeah, I mean, I like to see it go down $2, do the last kiss, and then away it goes. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Maybe you could email me her contact at offgridtrading@outlook.com. And I got your email yesterday, Tommy. Thanks. But when I clicked on the link, the page was taken down. So I'm wondering, if the moderators are biased on, good news for AMC. But yeah, if you could send me that information, Kerry, I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Well, see, that always bugs me. Like, when I influence somebody to make a decision, because I don't want you to make the wrong decision based on what I said, you know. And I'd hate to see the market go up. Wow, look at this. This is a pretty good sell-off right here. I got to take a look at what my long-term charts are telling me. Today's Thursday, right? I mean, it's not really telling me much. Look, I mean, all I'm seeing is a bull flag on a 60-minute chart, which could be a good indication of a move up. But we'll see how aggressive that gets. And the 30-minute chart, probably look for a topping pattern on the 30-minute. Oh yeah, that's right, Tommy. That was Wyatt. Right. Wyatt. Wow, up 477%. Well, yeah. You know what? I mean, why wouldn't you take that? You know, I mean, why wouldn't you take that? Don't even worry about it if it goes up anymore. Yeah, you know, don't do the you know, I would have had game. Lots of people do that, but yeah. But I can't see any reason not to take that. Or you could have also put a stop loss in there, or like a trailing stop loss. Do you know what a trailing stop loss is, Kerry? Well, I'll just explain it. You could put a stop loss in that's like $2 below current price, or a dollar. You decide the distance from the current price. Every time the position moves up, that stop loss will move up. And if the position turns around, trades down, and hits your stop loss, you get taken out. But if it keeps moving up, then it'll just keep dragging that stop up, 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 up. So if it goes up 5 points, the stop loss will go up 5 points, and then if it trades back 2 points, you get knocked out. So yeah, you know, that's another good way of managing it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because I'm starting to wonder. I mean, based on what I'm seeing, and again, you know, they're just clippings, and I'm not drilling down into anything. But if I'm interpreting what's happening correctly, I don't know how this guy is still waving the flag. You know, unless he's waving the flag so that he can get out of his position, and I don't know how big a position he is. And all those guys who are screaming, "I just bought 1,000, I just bought 1,000," well, talk is cheap. Yeah, you know, and they could be trying to hype it up too, because they want other people to go and buy 1,000. So, I mean, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm not watching the tape, so I don't know, you know, what's trade and what's not, and you know what I mean. Um, Oh, I got to figure out why I keep doing that. I got to have it programmed as a default. I mean, the volume is just tapering off, you know, and it's in consolidation. And a consolidation is usually, or could indicate, a rollout at this price. You know, whoever traded it up is rolling it out. But this pattern, I mean, what we're looking at right here is totally contrary to what you would want to see for a short squeeze. You know, this momentum is just tapering off, and the volume is just tapering off. And this is on a 60-minute, going back to when it did that spike. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, Loop and Loop. I'm wondering if he's hyping it and rolling out of it. But that's not going to be taken lightly if he's doing that, especially with the amount of people that he's influencing. Somebody's going to have something to say about that. And I'm not talking about his mother either, you know. I'm talking about regulators are going to have something to say about that. I mean, that's stock promoting, you know, and you could go back and track all, through the SEC all the cases of stock promoters that they've gone after. You know, they used to do it just with fax machines back in the day, you know, when I was getting into the industry. These promoters would just like just spam fax machines and try to promote stocks and do phone calls with penny stocks and stuff like that. You know, call around and pump it up and promote it. And I mean, that's where the concept of pump and dump, like the Wolf of Wall Street, that was a pump and dump kind of operation. But once the regulators got privy to that and started closing those guys down, then you know, the stock promoters started, and you know, they would just go around and get individuals to buy these stocks unsolicited, push it up, and dump into their buying power. And that's what this guy, I mean, if he's unloading his position while he's preaching this, you know, they're going to look at it. I mean, the regulators used to come into my retail firms and you know, look at what our proprietary position was and what we were selling or recommending to clients to sell, you know. And if it was inconsistent, if I was going long on the trading desk for a proprietary account and the firm was recommending the short of that security, then you know, that's a conflict of interest right there, and that's a problem, you know. So yeah, this is a highly regulated industry, man, and it's no place for the novice. Yes, did put a trailing stop loss, which triggered the sale. All right, cool. Glad you did that. Think the apes will all turn on Matt one day. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if it doesn't go right, yeah. I think that they're gonna go after this dude with pitchforks. Yeah, the dilution is a big problem, man. I mean, you know, that just makes it like swimming against the tide. These guys are buying into a market that is constantly expanding. It's like swimming upriver, and the dams just keep being open more and more. You know, and you're just swimming harder and harder. You know. Hey Dave, quick question: what time frame do you start your support and resistance lines from of the previous day. I put support and resistance on any chart. So there's my that's a daily chart, and there's a trend line and a support, and the support was really for this little area right here. So there is no time frame to put your support and resistance. If you see support and resistance on a daily chart, then on the daily chart that's the support and resistance. Usually a longer move. So I don't know if I'm understanding your question correct. If you're asking me, like when I spew out that we're hitting yesterday's high, yesterday's low, yesterday's open, that's actually an indicator. So I call those quality of life indicators that I put on the chart that tells me what yesterday's high, low, and open is. And that's not support or resistance. Or you could use it as support or resistance. For me, it's targets, and I know there's going to be congestion areas. I don't really call them support and resistance unless I know that it's been tested 2 times. So it could be a pivot. Yesterday's open, close, and previous day's open, close, high, lows could just be pivots. They may not be support and resistance, but I know it's a congestion area. It's an important area. Wow, you guys are chatting so fast I can't even keep up, man. That's cool. The channel's taking a life of its own. So let me know if I answered your question, Tommy, or maybe try to make it clearer for me. Well, you know what? It may not. There's a difference between promoting the stock and financial advice. Financial advice, he's saying this is a good trade for you, and this is the right investment for you, and things like that. That's what financial advice would be. May not be saying that. He may be saying this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. It's a great company. I feel it's going to make money. He's promoting the stock, and that's fine too. If you promote a stock, but if you're selling the stock while promoting the stock, that's not allowed. You can't, you're generally misleading the public so that you can make money. So they could say that everybody bought this stock because you were buying this stock, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's financial advice. But it does mean that you're promoting that company, and that's fine too, again. But if he's promoting the company so that he can liquidate his position, he's going to get in trouble. And you know what? That's a hard thing not to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this dude's looking at his cash. He's a young guy. He's not really a savvy trader, and he's gonna have his panties in a bunch if he's feels he's gonna lose money, and he's gonna look out for his best interest. Because there's no risk management to this trade. There's no logic to the trade. This guy's not willing to accept whether an idea fails or not. You know what I mean? So he's not going to take a professional approach at this, and I'm sure he's naive as to the rules that he'll be violating. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a hell of a channel, I'll tell you that. We'll all sit there and watch Matt's channel. Maybe he'll even stream the indictment and the SEC hearings. But I say all that in jest. I mean, we have no idea that that's what's transpiring. We don't know that that's happening. I don't want to shed light, throw shade on the guy. I just don't think, and I could be 100% wrong too, man. I mean, this could work out, and he could be right, and it could be egg on my face. I'm willing to accept all of that. What I'm not willing to do is put my money in it. I wonder how many clicks I'll get if I put out my next end of day wrap that Matt is wrong. You know, that would be a trip. I'd probably get a ton of impressions on that, man. Yeah, well, okay. Again, Anthony, I don't know that he's actually advising. Yet, you know, he's not telling everybody what is a suitable trade for them, or you know, I mean, that's what financial advice is. People are saying, yeah, you know, I have all this money. How do I invest it? He's saying, yeah, you know, this is a great company, and I think that there's going to be a short. I mean, yeah, you know, you hear that on CNBC all the time. You know what I'm saying? They're not financial advisors, and you know, they talk about good companies, bad companies, reporting on earnings, what they think is going to happen. They interpret macro and micro economics, and yeah, that's not financial advice, you know. But when you guys say to me, should I go long? Should I go short? I don't know if you should, because I don't know what your risk tolerance is. I don't know what your income is. I don't know yet, you know, what your financial goals are. If you ask me what do I think about a company or what I would do with this company, I'm telling you what my opinion is about the company and about, you know, how I would trade it. Just like every trade I show you here. I'm not saying these are appropriate trades for you or that you should do it. My point is, this is how I trade. You know, this is how professional traders trade. If you want to be a trader, learn how to trade. Yeah, you know, I mean, we can't really, and that's why I tell you I'm only using units. I don't want to tell you my size and influence your size. Yeah, you know, because you find that a lot in this industry. You know, people come into the industry and they're very keep up with the Joneses, and you know, I mean, I'm sure that what I trade is not appropriate for a lot of people. Aye, he talked his father into yeah, that's a shame. Yo, I know a story of a broker who talked a guy into buying a lot of shares of a company. And I don't think he told the guy to go out and take loans or anything like that, but the guy went out and mortgaged his house and everything. And the trade, you know, it was a ridiculous trade. And the guy ended up losing like probably 90% of his investment. And the guy was actually on the phone screaming at the broker and had a heart attack. Like the guy was screaming, and then the line went dead, and there was nothing. And the broker tried to call the guy a day later to you know, kind of smooth things over, obviously in fear of retribution. And the wife had informed him that the guy had a heart attack. Um, and I don't know whether the guy died or not, but that was a story. And this was like a secondhand story. I didn't experience it, or yeah, you know, didn't know the guy or anything. But yeah, you hear stories like that all the time. And I mean, on those chop shops, those penny firms, like Wolf of Wall Street and stuff like that, they literally encouraged people, you know, take money out of credit cards and stuff like that, and invest. That's so irresponsible. Look at this crazy, crazy market. Just back and forth. And again, it looks like really big moves, but yeah, you know, it's just like 4 point swings and stuff. Nuts, nuts. No place for me to trade. Look, you know, like right here, you can see an entry, but yeah, you know, it just ripped up 3 points. I mean, I'd be one off right now and at a break even, but I'm not confident it's going to run much more. So yeah, you know, a buck and a half is not bad. You know, you pick up 150 a contract, but um, just seems to whip around too much. Even the pattern's not consistent. I'm gonna jump over to a 30-second. Dinka 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 dink. Yeah, looking pretty much the same. Aye. All over the place. Someone yesterday said half is 401k. Everybody, yeah, is going to make the home run. They don't look at the downside. I mean, how could you risk half your 401k? Obviously this guy worked his whole life to build that 401k. He's going to put half his life into one idea. So irresponsible. I mean, Matt should have downplayed that when he heard that. I mean, but I guess he's not a financial advisor, so he has no obligation to downplay that. I mean, I certainly would have said that's not something I would have recommended my family to do, even if I believed in the idea. I mean, where's the risk management? Just goes to show you the naivety. Yeah, it could be that it's just hype. I mean, that's what most social media is. I mean, I've read about people posing in front of cars that aren't theirs, and just to give that impression. What's that? You're in a prison cell? You created your own strategy. That's funny. I did. All right, cool. Okay, so support and resistance using the previous closes. I mean, again, that's like congestion areas. But look on your indicators and see if they have something that there's usually an indicator that will throw up yesterday's open close high. But what I didn't do today that I usually do, Tommy, is I look at the 30-minute low. The low I made in the first 30 minutes, and I put that line in. And then I look at the high I made in the first 30 minutes, and I put that line in, which I did do that. So I call that my opening range, which is very common. Lots and lots of traders use that opening range. And you could see how the stock kind of respects that opening range. And you could use that opening range as targets. When the opening range is very wide, then you could find a bottom reversal pattern down here and trade it up to the top, and then you could find a topping pattern up here and trade it down to the bottom. And really your goal is really just halfway on both of them. So you'll take most of your position off at halfway, and then you'll trail to see if you can get the whole distance. And that's pretty common. I mean, right now it's just not an orderly market, so you can see right here, well, I guess that's where we made the high, but we keep breaking out of it, we test it, come down, we break out of it. It's just not respecting what I see as a orderly market commonly. So that's two lines that I put in, and then like I said, the indicator puts in the lines from the other day. And if you want a better way to determine your opening range, you could just look at your 30-minute chart and look for your first 30-minute bar, which would, on mine, it gives the closing time, which is 10 o'clock. Some systems give the opening time. But so that's my first 30-minute bar, and that's my opening range. And then, I'll see how the market trades relative to my opening range. And you can see we're just kind of favoring the top, really bouncing off the middle from time to time and going back and forth. Just to give you perspective and a feel for the market, kind of like the lines in a notebook that help you read and guide your eye. This stock will make you money. I don't know. It's been 20 years since the squeeze started. Hmm. Yeah, that is kind of financial advice when you're telling them what to do with your position. Yeah, if you get two full point moves, that's 100 points. That's correct. But you got to look at the risk reward on that, right? So if I'm looking for 4 points, the most I'd risk is 2 points, and I don't know, the market's too whippy. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to go out there and try to get 2 points. Not what I'm into. I'd rather go out there and have a 2 point stop and look for 10 or 15 points. I mean, if I'm going to be in the game, it's going to be worth my while. Just like, I'm not going to take a 9 to 5 when I could sit down and trade and make more money in a week than, most people can in a year. So, I mean, I'm not going to take a trade when there's a trade out there that I could have the same risk and make a hell of a lot more money, or there's more potential. So, again, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to make good trades. The money is a byproduct of making good trades. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, Ant. There are lots of different ways to trade the market. I'm just telling you what my way and my theory is to trade the market. And there are tons of guys out there, doing 50, 60, 100 trades a day, just scalping, 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 scalping. It's just not my style. Like even going to the gym. I mean, I'm not throwing weights around. I'm very smooth and methodical and slow on my weights, just different strokes for different folks, baby. As long as you're profitable, that makes you right? And if you're consistently profitable, and that you could decide over time. But in my view, the best traders have the lowest risk. And they don't have the lowest risk because they're the best traders. They're the best traders because they have the lowest risk. Yeah, it's the first 30-minute bar. That gives me my opening range. I'm just catching up on the chats. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you got to make fun of the guy. So yeah, Tommy, it gives you perspective, and I mean, you see what we did the whole day. I mean, we did nothing. We went nowhere. We popped up, got into this range, and just kind of sticking around here. There's a 9 point move right there, which would have cost you 4 points. If you got right in. But even this range is about 4 points too small. Like 14 to 20 point range is a nice range that you could trade inside of. Otherwise, you just want it expanding. You want it breaking to the upside, or you want it breaking to the downside. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. And we're just getting quiet. So if anybody's new here, feel free to jump in on the chat. There's no such thing as a bad question. Ask me anything, even if it's personal. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe, and you got to hit that bell because I get knocked offline all the time. That's why we call this off-grid trading. I am actually on a boat right now, sweating and streaming to you. So if I get knocked off and you hit that bell, you know when I come back on. And you hit the like because it helps promote my page. And you hit the PayPal because I absolutely suck at making videos and I need some help. So chat me up. Give me some content. Let's talk about something. Any stocks you want me to take a look at? Happy to look at it. I'll break it down. I'll tell you how I see it and how I would play it. You want to talk about AMC? We could talk about AMC. We could talk about Bitcoin. We could talk about all the get-rich-quick schemes that are going on out there. And we could talk about trading appropriately. Just give me something to talk about. And you better come up with questions because I'm about to break out in song. Then you'll be sorry. Then the dislikes come. I wish they would represent to me what the dislikes are. That would be interesting. And we're not getting any haters. I know that this channel has taken off when I start getting haters. We got one hater on a very active day. And he wasn't even good at it. That's interesting. I don't know that you get better fills, and the spreads are kind of dictated by the exchanges. You know, I mean, it's a open market. You know, so the bid is the bid, the ask is the ask. So the spread should be consistent across the board. Do you find that you have discrepancy in spreads from one platform to the other? Sometimes you get slippage, and you know, so you might get hit lower or something. I mean, but that happens everywhere. You know, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. When you say better fills, are you talking about the speed of execution or the price that you're given? Because they have an obligation to give you best price, and they're regularly audited for that practice. So, I mean, you do get some pokes in the eyes once in a while, or some ridiculous fills, but it's not common. So, I mean, the only reason why you would want to increase your cost is because it increases your return. You know, I mean, I'm always looking for a cheaper way to trade. But I haven't. I mean, I bitched about everybody who I've ever executed through, and I haven't found anybody who's any different. You know, but yeah, you know, I don't constantly bitch about them, but there are times that, yeah, you know, trades I'm like, what the hell was that? But I mean, and I don't care who you are or how big you are. You know, somebody's trying to beat you on the other end. I mean, you know, you hear this from hedge fund traders all the time. You know. The only, you know, you just want good quotes and good data. You know, if you have to pay for that, I'm always willing to pay for that. But if I can get good quotes and, you know, I could break down the data to the 30-second or tick charts, then I'm happy. You know, I bounced from a few platforms because I couldn't get tick charts. You know. wonder what the delay is between me talking to you guys and you guys throwing a chat in there. And if that's common, or my setup. So much to know. I'm really wondering too about this convertible debt for AMC. I mean, I want to look into what Kerry supplied us with. I mean, issuing 44 million more shares. Dang. Yep, that baby just pops up. You know, I'm looking at that ad or that article, and it says published January 28th, but the quoting the stock closed at 1990 on Wednesday. That's the old conversion. It said Thursday the 28th. Thursday was the 29th. I'm confused about that 44 million article. It was published on the 28th, but it references the Silver Lake debt conversion, and it says that they made that announcement on Thursday, which wouldn't be the 28th, and that the stock closed at 19. So this is the old debt conversion. They just republished that on the 28th. But that's a new number. I mean, 44 million is a new number. Yeah, I don't think this is new information. I think Market Watch is just putting that out as clickbait. Oh, that's sleazy. I just went to that update, and it's from Market Watch, and they published the story. It says published January 28th, but this is actually the story from the beginning of June. Yeah, you can see that same article going back to January of 2021. Oh, that's what Market Watch says, January 28th. All right, this is old news. I thought it said June 28th. Yep, that's what it looks like. Clickbait. But yeah, that's old news, man. I mean, it's still a delusion of 44 million, but it didn't happen today or this week. Look at that. We went off on a tangent on this guy, Matt. Huh? That's all right. It was fun. I'm still not thrilled with the idea. No. So let's look at what the market is doing today. Should I even mention it? We're getting pretty lucky on the stream today, huh? Seems like it's just coming through, no qualms. I'm even afraid to touch the computer. Oh wow, look at that. What a strong looking bar, man. I mean, obviously the day's not over. Oh, and it's 12 o'clock. Halfway through it. Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you say we take a quick break? I'm going to check the crab pots. And we get back at 12:45. Everybody eat a nice healthy lunch. Keep your eyes on the market. Do a little homework if you want. Yep, that's cool. I mean, you're up 415. That's great. You put a little money in your pocket. There's nothing to worry about. I mean, you never look back. You know. I mean, there's. I don't. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. But if you made money and you booked it and you're happy, that's cool. And there are hundreds of trades out there that had I stayed in them, I would have made a lot more money. But that's not my trading philosophy. That's not my rules, and I don't look back at that. And you know, I don't lament my decisions. And that's something that I see a lot of new traders do. You know, oh, if I held. No, you didn't. And there's more opportunity around the block, and that's it. That's how you look at it. You want tendies? I don't know what tendies are. But I'll tell you what I want. I want to go see if my traps are producing crabs. It was too hot to cook yesterday, so I went and grabbed a bite to eat at a really bad restaurant. So, got to get me some crabs. So we're going to split for about 45 minutes. Everybody go grab some lunch. Catch you guys back here in 45. Yep, good for you. You should take profits along the way. So I'll catch you guys in about 45 minutes.